Tonight's strike by the Ghana Union of Traders Association in full force with a ripple effect on other businesses. We'll gauge the effect of this action as the producer price index hits 45.5%.
We are having a union, a taxi union over here. So I'm the one who stay a ticket to them. Today, no one is coming to boarded a car to their various destinations.
Meanwhile, Guta is fighting off claims of harassment of some traders who are sitting out of the strike.
We do not go chasing. You've been here and you've seen it yourself. The closure is total.
We have details as the IGP deploys scores of police officers to forestall any clash. And Top Story is brought to you by Vodafone. Further together, I am Ernest Minu. They vowed to shut down, and they've done just that. The busy, vibrant Accra Business District was today a pale shadow of itself. Scores of shops closed in compliance with a resolution passed by the Ghana Union of Traders Association. The group described the industrial action, which will end Monday, October 24, as a pinch on government to urgently address the depreciating cedi, the high interest rate, as well as inflation. The association has, among other things, called on government to ascertain the factors leading to excessive demand of the dollar while reviewing investment laws to retain forex and push foreign investors into productive sectors of the economy. We'll be telling you how hard this action has been biting so far, but the issue being raised by the traders today has further been reinforced by the latest report of the Ghana Statistical Service. Isaac Kofieje is a data analyst with our research desk, and he joins me in the studio with the figures from the Ghana Statistical Service. Isaac, what is the rate for September?
Right, so and as the current rate for producer inflation is pegged at 45.6%. And back then in August this year, the producer inflation was at 39.7%. So if you look at on month basis, and as electricity and water had the highest month-on-month producer inflation of 14.2% and 9.2% respectively.
What does this mean for businesses, for trading, and for the general public?
So obviously, we've seen pressure on the Ghanaian cedi, and producer price index certainly means the price you get, the wholesale price. So it means that if you compare year on year basis, wholesale prices have actually gone up by more than 45%. So it means retailers are now going to get the goods at higher cost, and then this is actually reflected in the 37.
It will have a cascading effect on the entire
37.9% of consumer inflation that we see currently.
Kofi, thank you very much for bringing us that latest report from the Ghana Statistical Service. Well, today, my colleague Bernice Abubedu was in town to gauge the level of compliance, and as she reports, the action was in full force with a ripple effect on other businesses. Listen.
We are having a union, a taxi union over here. So I'm the one who stay a ticket to them.
On a day that the shops were not closed.
Oh, yeah.
What is this place?
It's busy road. Busy. Many people have been coming to buy electricals, fridges, so that they will bring it here and we'll park, stop a car for them to outlet their goods to their various destinations.
So this is also affecting you as commercial transport owners?
Yes, it's affecting, yes. Because here is a union, they park. If shops has been open, people will come and purchase or buy their goods. So today, no one is coming to boarded a car to their various destinations.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for speaking to us. And that this is having a ripple effect, not only on the traders or those who come to buy from the wholesalers, but also on those who offer services like transportation, those who provide food and water. They definitely will be affected. Headquarters as well will also be affected. All right, so this lady here wants to talk to me. Me pacha ya frau saying.
Friend me Lucy.
Lucy pacha oya den wa ha.
Ye ton de wa ha, ye shedwa wa ha.
Okay. Inti mo na mo shedwa wa nim ha. Enya mo nya shop owners.
Ye shop owners. Na me kombia nka. Ye ton de ye kakra work ensini ba. Na ye ton de na me kombie ye ne nti ye hwe. So be bia na
na wa adenti na Melcom emie unim ne ntia
na na akufo de wa ye boni papa ye nim say sa na etie mi she kambu ni jeans na mi ko work o ka tell say Ghana ye wo sky ye wo tiba ye wo koko na ye nim so ba bibia ni bo be ye di sisi akoto mo repotency di uri un ba tu ensu ye
So Lucy is exclaiming she is shocked that this is what they have to suffer as traders, because she claims that during the campaign time she wore her canvas shoes and her jeans and she was supporting President Akufo-Addo. And she says the president said we had a lot of money, we had cocoa, timber, gold, and she didn't expect that things will happen this way. She also says that if the shops were opened, she would also sell her wares, because those entering the big shops will, pay attention to those who are selling on tabletops here. But I say, Kosono, a global. A course will be Russia and Ukraine and Tokwano and affecting Intino. I say, or putting measures in place to ensure Senyama Bekoye and also Dream was saying,
senior can say Russia, Bibia, San, etc. Ghana, the on-ship may. If you say Ghana, the Nisa, Amudu Musikanusu, Ghana, Yasikanusa, and the on-ship may not be Bafo May, affect one.
Oh, okay. I think I'm happy. Soon, Ukrainian Yamian, the evidence now run it is saying that they be a me ban.
Now, what is some mobile shops?
I said, no, I'm a TV visa.
And our customers here and Crawford.
Oh, my customers, dear Crawford, tell me what mutas China now, or maybe more mini or more, so or be mutobi.
So this lady is telling me that business is slow this morning. She sells rice. She heard of the closure, but I mean, she usually sells to people who come here to do business, to buy from the shops, and the shop owners themselves. But this morning, she's saying truthfully, things aren't going as they usually will on a typical day like this. So just to my left, I mean, you can see an area of shops closed.
That's my colleague Bernice Abubedu there, reporting live from the Central Business District of Accra today. Many shops are closed in compliance with the resolution by GUTA, and that is having a cascading effect on other businesses. Many people are suffering as a result of this action by GUTA. My colleague Papani Ashale just returned from Tiptoe Lane and also observed the situation there. Papani, what can you share with us?
So, Ernest, we've been to Tiptoe Lane, we've been to Odona Station, and we've been to Oprah Square in Issa, where you'd have the GUTA executives themselves working.
Yeah.
And the situation is they have closed every single shop. At least you find most of the shops. At best, you'd find people standing in front of these closed shops, probably, running away from the scorching sun. But all these shops are under lock and key, and there's no activity going on. I managed to get the fringe workers, those that help with this particular, or benefit from the activities, of these shops. You get truck pushers, you get hawkers, and you get what you call kaya as well.
Porters, the head porters.
Head porters as well, who were helping or benefiting from the businesses of these individuals. They tell me that it's been slower than they are taught, that they know that we are in economic crisis. Many people are not coming to the market, but what they experience today is unlike anything they've experienced before. So most of them are just idle, have just left their pants around and are just roaming free some of these markets, and hoping that this strike will come to an end as soon as possible.
Michael, thank you very much for the update today. And earlier, there were reports of harassment of some traders who sat out of the strike. Some of them say they are not members of GUTA and actually do not believe that the strike is the way to go.
I'm saying we can still demonstrate by wearing our red shirts, put a red band on your store, okay, and open your store and demonstrate. Okay. There are so many ways of demonstration. It is not only shutting the stores is the only way. Okay. So that we will continue to engage with the government so that the remaining money that we have will not go down, will not be destroyed. That's all I'm talking. That is my message. So long as the dollar is destroying our business, the government is finding a solution.
They say almost say a copy Monday. For 5 days, I know what they mind. That's a problem. They say school fees, oh, okay. I say market. Oh, okay.
So those are some traders who disagree with the action that is already underway. But Guta says those claims of harassment is actually false, and the strike on day one has been very successful. Listen to Dr. Joseph Obeng interact with my colleague Michael Ashale when the IGP visited the executives of Guta earlier today.
Guta is a huge institution. Guta. Our business. Guta. Our business. So, we are not in competition with anybody. Some people want to ride at the back of Guta to make themselves relevant. And so, we do not go chasing. You've been here and you've seen it yourself. The closure is total. And let me tell you, even Christmas. Christmas where we are supposed to eat biscuits, kill chickens and eat and all that, people will even come and open shops. Even holidays, that is cleared by government. So in any situation, you see some remnants.
So, Dr. Ben, what is the IGP asking you to do? I mean, why is he here particularly? What demands did he make on you?
IGP came to praise us because he said that he's even surprised that such a massive closure, there's no iota of incidents anywhere. And that we prove that we are matured and you want us to sustain that. And that we don't have any conflict with anybody. Let not anybody deceive anybody that some people are preventing them to open their shops. They don't have members to go and open anything.
So the IGP did not ask you to consider other factors and open your shops?
No, he said that he came here for security purposes and he didn't talk on those lines.
Okay. So based on the security reasons that he gave you, he didn't advise you to probably consider opening your shops?
He said that I have told him that I do not have that mandate. Yes. And that the mandate is on the people who have closed their shops.
So your strike is still in force?
Our people say they are closing their shops and they want to open on Monday. If they decide to open on Saturday, so be them. They will tell us and they will do that. But for now, they say they want to open on Monday. So anytime they tell us, we will take their instruction and to do that.
So that is Dr. Joseph Obeng, the national president of Guta, interacting there with my colleague Michael Papani Ashale. But Papani is still with me in the studio. Where else was the IGP today?
So when he left Oprah Square, I understand that he visited other markets, but later we understood he appeared at Circle Tiptoe Lane, where he walked through Tiptoe Lane. For those who know Circle proper, right from Fanofa traffic light all the way down there. He spoke to some of the shops that were there, down into Tiptoe Lane proper, and then went to the Odona station to talk to some of the traders that were there. Understand, just like Joseph Obeng told us, that it's on security reasons, something they have heard along the lines of threats to other members.
Bambo esi ebonya frisamria kwesi emra moa mo ne aban kasa ne nkọ ne abayina mo beyi se mba be biebie mo shop no nyina ye beye na enu so achi no kra mpo no mo ba ye be koso ama bambo no aye den ewo Ghana fa na nyina enti yenso e makwan se nye ni nipa ena wose ebia omie no shop na se obi a waye na dwuso omie na obi a ehye no so omie na ba ye nimu a ye do nyankon be fa mra kwanso eno na be ma a kire se Ghana ye ni bue no ekosoro da bia.
So that's the IGP. Michael, a quick translation there.
Yeah, so he's been admonishing members of Guta to avoid trying to force or coerce other individuals who have decided not to go their lane, to allow them to be. And anyone found forcing or using force to get these people to close their shops, the law is going to be dealing with them.
And very soon we'll be speaking to the president of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng, for some more on today's action. But yesterday, when we spoke to the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Michael Ochirbefi, he indicated that some of the things that had been agreed on with GUTA would take effect from today. Indeed, he expressed, he wasn't unhappy. He wasn't happy with the fact that he had gone ahead to declare a strike, even though he claims there was an agreement for the action to be suspended. Listen to what Michael Ochirbefi said to us yesterday on Top Story.
You could clearly see that now it is just moving away from just negotiations and trying to have a civil conversation to a state where people are just, they don't have any reason. They just want to close their shop.
Mr. Befi, what did you agree with the traders?
We as government agreed, and we decided to withdraw those officers who had gone for invigilation. We also decided that government was going to knock down a particular rate. We were going to use the Bank of Ghana interbank rate. I mean, with regards to the currency, just people to get them a figure that will help them in their customs arrangement. And also with regards to the VAT, flat rate arrangement. We also had some good news for them. And we gave them all these things.
And when were you expected to roll these out?
Immediately. This week, we were so committed to take off.
When this week, sir?
Started this morning, but they started showing signs that they were not going to respect the arrangement. And so we were a little bit careful. But that notwithstanding, we are still committed to it, and it is going to take off.
So when can they look forward to that?
It will take off from tomorrow, latest by close of day tomorrow.
So that is the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Michael Ochirbefi, there speaking to us yesterday. He indicated that some of the issues, including issues of taxation and the benchmark issues with the GRA, all of those issues were going to take effect from today. We'll be speaking to him shortly to find out what has happened since that interaction. But let's speak to Benjamin Yeboah, who is the National Officer of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Mr. Yeboah, thank you very much for your time here on Top Story. What will be your assessment of day one? Satisfied with the level of compliance?
Well, thank you very much for having me this evening. Yes, I think day one was okay because the compliance level was well over 60-70%. If I can even venture to about 80-90%. So it was good.
And so that should definitely tell you that there are some who are not happy or do not agree with your decision to call the strike, because there were some who sat out. And they are actually saying that the effect will be dire as compared to, what you have. The issues are legitimate, they agree, but the effect of this 6-day strike, they think that will further worsen your situation. Do you reason with them, given the effect of today?
It's like having an elections and the president-elect having more than the average. Immediately we are having about 80-90%. We see it as a success. Those others who did not comply might not maybe understand what the whole thing is, because what they think they are doing, their livelihood is just going down the drain. They might not know. So that is it. We don't see it as something that they didn't go well. It went quite well. And I think with the 2-3 minutes remaining, others will get to understand what we are doing so that they buy into it. Because whatever we are fighting for all of them.
Well, but the concern has been that, is this sustainable? So given that you go the long haul, 6 days you have declared, what next? If nothing really changes.
That is why we keep on saying that what we are doing is to send a message, not necessarily meaning that within these few days everything will change. No, we want to send a clear message out there that is not well. All this while we've been quiet since January and just issuing press releases, press statements. You see, when we even threatened to lock up about 2 months ago and the Council of State met us, we received that action and then we decided to sit and then talk.
I guess the question is, Mr. Yeboah, can you afford the loss that will accrue to you within these 6 days?
Are you comparing that loss to what we are losing now? People's livelihood are just going down. Look, my brother, just imagine. Beginning of the year, how much was the dollar to the city? It was about 6.2. In just about 2 months, it's moved from around 10.4 to over 13. So you don't see what is happening. So anyone who sits in his business house and says he's doing business, my brother, the person is doing nothing.
Well, I wanted to listen
trying to manage the situation.
I wanted to listen to this economist who is the dean of the business school at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. John Gachi. Listen to him make the point about the effect of your action today.
We can't begrudge the traders if they want to go close their shops. It's a demonstration that represents the feeling of all Ghanaians that they are trying to do on behalf of Ghanaians. But we should also appeal to them that it should not take a very long time. If we're in a more civilized environment where leaders listen to the slightest indication from traders and their associations, I believe even going to the shops and putting some kind of mark on their shops will be enough message for government. So as much as we agree that they need to demonstrate their frustration, we also want to appeal that it shouldn't be too long a time.
Mr. Eboa, your reaction to this?
Yes, it's more or less singing our song. We are not doing it too long a time. We are opening on Monday. And secondly, we've gone past the red bands. We put red bands last 2 months. So all that is said, we've done that. But the way the situation is now, my brother, you should be in business to know what you are talking about. Because seriously, no one knows what he or she is doing in his business house.
Well, there's another man who is in business who joins us on the line, and he perhaps also understands the issue, but disagrees with you on your approach. Let's speak to Nana Poku, who is the General Secretary of Traders Advocacy Group Ghana. You did not partake in the demonstration today because you do not believe that that is the way to go. But at the end of the day, if the issues being demanded, the issues being raised by Guta is responded to by government, you stand to benefit, don't you? Nana Poku. Hello, Nana Poku. Can you hear me? Hello, Nana Poku. We seem not to have his attention. If the producer can just work the line there so we can get Nana Poku to speak to. And so, Mr. Yeboah, this is definitely going all the way to Monday. Have you been approached by government, at least for today, since the strike started?
As you know, we met with the Trade Minister, the Deputy Trade Minister, Mr. Honorable Befi, the Deputy Finance Minister, Abla Sari. We met them last week, Thursday. And then yesterday we met Honorable Befi, who was also around, where we met with the Council of State. So yes, something is ongoing. But we are drawing that attention to the fact that the way things are going, we should change the approach of how we are tackling it. Because we find it difficult to really understand that, yes, other countries have been hit with these COVID issues. Other countries who have been hit with the Ukraine-Russia war, which does not seem to have any ending in sight. And to be termed as having the worst currency in the world, if not among the West, is so embarrassing. So that means there might be something really wrong. So that is why we want that much attention, so that we all stakeholders, shouldn't be just the executive. Parliament and every stakeholder should now be called onto the table. Let us see this as a national issue and let's tackle it from all ends. What is going on that is pulling our city down drastically like that? If the depreciation was manageable, we would have said that's why we've held our horses all this while.
Let's hear
the
from...
depreciation is terribly too bad.
Mr. Eboa, can you hold on for me? Nana Poku joins us now. Hopefully we have his attention this time. Mr. Poku, thank you very much for your time here on Top Story. Why do you disagree with this approach?
We if you use that word, okay, let me first greet your listeners and thank you for having me. We don't disagree of the economic hardship. Okay? You and me will attest to the fact that the situation in the country is not conducive. And it is the failure of the appointed authority who's supposed to regulate the financial situation in the country. They have failed. In this note, I would also want to highlight the reason why we opted to open our shops. Traders, similarly like doctors, we are almost the same. We are rendering service to the public. And it is hard to come by doctors or nurses saying that we'll go on strike unless they have been pushed to the wall. Traders find themselves within the same arena. We don't want to do the service to Ghanaians, but rather we are also protesting in a different way. That will be a little bit diplomatic, and at the end of the day, face the reality and the opportunities given us by the government, because as I speak with you, the government has not closed its doors for the trading public. The executives of Traders Advocacy Group Ghana are being engaged by the state policymakers to find a lasting solutions to all these problems that we find ourselves in. But some of them are beyond us. We could not stress too much to be finance ministers whilst we are traders. What we do best is we do trading. So we will continue doing our trading and at the same time protest in a manner that will suit our members. Hence the reason why we took such a decision.
But if you heard Gutak very clearly, I mean, there have been series of actions that has brought us here today. And so this is an action that is culminating in a long process, which is why they have chosen to close the shops now. And so why do you not think that this is the way to go, to drum home the demands?
Closing down shops. Listeners should forgive me a little bit. I am a little bit tired. Closing down shops should be the last resort. And even in this 20th century, I, for one, would say is a thing of the past. Because if you take some countries, for instance, demonstrations cannot actually pull government to the ground. It doesn't happen. But blogging is the way out.
Well, let's see how it goes because we were built to speak to the Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Michael Ochibefi. Unfortunately, we are unable to reach him. Once we do, would get his side of the story and find out if indeed the promises he made yesterday have been implemented. That's it for Top Story now, brought to you by Vodafone. Further together. Blazer Suga is next on the radio with Newsnight. After these messages, please stay with us.
Tell you, some things can be very painful, like hitting your toe against the corner of a table. Or a failed cash transaction because of insufficient funds. But that's where Vodafone Cash Overdraft will help you shop life regardless. Vodafone Cash Overdraft is the latest innovation that adds to your Vodafone Cash wallet when your balance is not enough to pay for your Vodafone transactions. Just dial *110#, select option 5 to opt in. Now, let's say you won't buy 50 cedis monthly data, where you get only 30 cedis for your Vodafone Cash wallet. You will get a notification saying you can access additional funds to complete your transaction. You accept the offer, done. Overdraft. Oh, say yeah.
Oh, yeah. The new Vodafone Cash Overdraft service allows you to access additional funds to complete your Vodafone Cash transaction. Be it paying for your broadband subscription, buying airtime or mobile data, or even sending money. Terms and conditions apply.
Vodafone.
Kids, it's Singapore time. Yeah! Hundreds of motivated students from across the world will converge in Singapore from the 1st to the 10th of December 2022 for the annual Steam Ahead and Yala Camp. Join this exciting edutainment camp for students from 12 to 15 years interested in STEM, arts, and leadership. Camp activities include Disneyland adventures, robotics, and leadership training. Registration deadline is October 30, 2022. Parents and heads of schools, please go to www.ghanaolympiadacademy.com or call 0570-898-762 for more details. It's Singapore time. Welcome on board, kids.
Introducing the fresh range of Samsung phones. The all-new Samsung Galaxy A04s. Comes with a crystal clear 6.5-inch display, awesome 50-megapixel camera, and 5-megapixel front camera, awesome 5000 mAh battery, and all the swag you get from a Samsung Galaxy phone. That means you can capture life's great moments, see every detail of your favorite reels and videos, and do all this with all-day battery power. The Samsung Galaxy A04s is the new kid in town, and you just want to touch it. Touch it, touch it, touch it. Visit the nearest Samsung shop or authorized phone dealer to get your Samsung Galaxy A04s and experience the first of Samsung's new range of phones. Touch it, touch it, touch it, touch it. Shut up.
At Enterprise Life, it's possible to live your best life. Ladies, enjoy cover for your lifestyle with Bloom Life Insurance for today's woman. Families, let's safeguard your well-being with a family income security plan because family matters. And for you, live freely with our Funeral Finance Plan Unlimited with no restrictions, no limits as you cover your loved ones and yourself. WhatsApp us on 0554 001 924 or call 0307 084 444 for your solution.
Enterprise, your advantage.
Hello there, you're listening to Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM and affiliates across the country. And coming up tonight,
Is water in the water ways down there that the properties have not been cleared, but those on the hills have been cleared. So if it is bad for everybody. You think this exercise is discriminatory? That is what I'm saying. What is down on the ground? What I am seeing on the ground is what I'm basing my evidence on to speak. I can bring ministers, my friends, my brother. I can bring him to pinpoint what I'm talking about now.
sounds there of the Tema West New Patriotic Party chairman as he faces off with the Greater Accra Regional Minister over demolition of structures at the Sakumono Ramses site, insisting no consultations were made before the Regional Security Council tore down properties in the area, but the minister insists no order from above will prevent the exercise from being completed.
Please, there is no order from above. They are working in phases. The first phase is to remove fence wall that have been erected in the waterway. Then engagements will be done, and then those ones are also removed. So there is no order from above. Please, the work continues.
There's more from the minister shortly. Also in this package, 2 people in critical condition following alleged clash between illegal miners and a security team manning the concession of Anglo Gold Ashanti in the Obuasi East District.
Of the media will use the sovereign power of the people to compel them to do what is right. But if they don't, we definitely would explore the legal means.
Well, stay with us as we hear from 3 citizens who petitioned the Inspector General of Police to investigate and prosecute Ashanti Regional Chairperson Bernard Entwe-Bossiaku to explore all options, including heading to court to seek justice. Also, I have resigned from the New Patriotic Party nominee to the Supreme Court position. Justice Gaiwo tells Parliament's Appointments Committee as he's grilled for his affiliation to the governing New Patriotic Party.
I ceased to become a member of the NPP on the 16th day of September 2020, the year 2020. Yes, I resigned. That's a formal resignation.
Well, we have details as Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu says his appointment gives an indication that President Akufo-Addo is sparking the court with partisan persons.
The appointments such as yours give the notion of partisanship creeping into appointments into the high office of the Supreme Court.
And in business, Ghanaians advised to cut down expenditure now in anticipation of tougher economic times as prices of imported goods are expected to further go up due to cedi depreciation. We'll hear from an economist.
And in sport, Hearts of Oak unveil new Serbian head coach with a charge to win the Ghana Premier League or face the sack. Details in 50 minutes.
Also in this bulletin. Well, we'll get you the very latest as in Fanspeem schools advised another late scare to qualify for semi-finals of the National Science and Maths Quiz, as a correct answer to the last question gave the Kwabuche boys a lifeline in the NSMQ.
You know, in Fanspeem is a school that in such competitions every other school would like to fight hard to beat, but by 50 for the world confess thy name, oh James.
And congratulations going out to the Fanspeem boys. More as the last contest for the day featuring Prempe, Mauli School and Aburi Presby is underway. My name is Blessed Ogan. Remember that this is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. And tonight, the efforts by the Greater Accra Regional Minister to save thousands of residents and property at Sakumono Enclave from flooding appear to be facing stiff opposition from some members of the governing New Patriotic Party. Earlier today, Henry Quartey, joined by officials from the Lands Ministry and the Security Forces, began a 3-phase exercise by tearing down fence walls at the site where encroachers had been building. Mr. Quartey described the move as long overdue to avert flooding in the area and adjoining communities while preserving the wetlands for threatened animal species.
In the olden days, an acre of a land or a parcel of land would equate to 4 plots. So let's try and do the mathematics. 4 plots times 3,500 plots. 4. So you are talking about 13,000 plots or 12,000. Today, if they are doing 80 by 70, then it's 6 plots. So let's multiply 6 plots by 3,000. 18,000 plots. As we speak, we are reliably informed that well over 2,500 acres of government land have been encroached upon with impunity. They are built. As if that is not enough. Currently, as we speak, I'm sure you've been to the site. You have seen that people overnight, they fill the core area of the Ramsar, the lagoon, and they are building. Mr. President, a few months ago, gave directives that all buildings sitting in waterways must be removed. Again, you recall, about a week ago, incidents that took place around Weja, where people's houses were virtually submerged in water. It is said that prevention is better than cure. This exercise is not in any way, shape, or form to victimize anybody. Rather, what we are doing, and let's be careful, I noticed that today's dailies sent message that hundreds of buildings to be pulled down. Let's be very circumspect in our choice of words and reportage. What the exercise is about today is to target buildings, or in fact, fence walls that have been erected in the core area, water. They are building in the water. So the men and women, as you see today, will have 3 phases of the work. Today, tomorrow, and day 3, they are going to bring down all the fence walls that are in the water. I'm sure you've been and seen it. Once they've done that, there will be another critical assessment where the agency under lands, forestry, will now identify buildings that are still sited in the waterway. And then they are marked. And then the next phase will continue. So we shall continue with the exercise by the grace of God.
Well, so that's the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey, but the exercise as we speak is strongly being opposed by the Tema West New Patriotic Party chairperson Kwesi Poku, who thinks proper consultations should have been made with key stakeholders before any action was taken.
Government lands are government lands, and I will not condone any illegality, anybody who tries to steal government lands. No. My question is this: those who bought the lands bought from people who don't own the lands. When you buy a land that is not good, you can be punished. Who sold the land is also a thief as you who bought the land. What are we doing to those who sold the land to the people? Sir John was here. All this one he's doing. Stakeholder engagement. What kind of stakeholder engagement was done? Because for me, as party chairman, I didn't seriously hear so much about this exercise.
Well, so the very voice you hear in there is the voice of Kwesi Poku, who happens to be Tema West New Patriotic Party chairperson. Fortunately, he's joining us tonight on Newsnight. Mr. Poku, you just heard the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey explain the essence of this exercise. It's basically to avert flooding in these communities. So why are you against that action that will save residents and possibly destruction to property in the area?
Let me first of all say good evening to your listeners, and I'm happy to join you. Let me put on record that the exercise, I'm not in opposition to the exercise in principle. Waterways that people have encroached is a bad thing, and I think the courage that the honorable member has taken to get fence walls off the waterways, I am with him, I'm good to go. I believe that your reporters will tell you when we got into the grounds, there were specific directions, and we heard the voice of the regional minister loud and clear now from your radio station. I was going to remove fence walls from waterways. As at the time I got there, it was not about waterways. They were doing other things. Yes. If it is total demolition of the whole area in the Ramsar area, then let's get it clear. But the impression I had and what was happening on the ground was what I was opposed to, my brother.
So many were of the view that you would have approached the matter differently, much more different than what we saw on the ground. You flared up. You flared up in the presence of the minister.
Come again?
But you flared up in the presence of the minister.
That is not correct. When I got there, the minister had not arrived. It is the leader of the security team that was directing the affairs that I thought were quote unquote unprofessional, because the military men, the policemen was first of all gathered in a school that was writing the BEC exams. And I think this could have caused panic and fear for the children writing the exams. So those were the issues I was raising. Issues. If somebody said I fled before the minister, I will not do that.
Okay, I get that part. I get that part strongly. But then, even if you're talking about a grace period, the last time I recall the regional minister going there was about 2 or more months ago. That's enough time to provide residents some relief in terms of finding alternatives. Are you saying that you still need an extension? Is that the point you're making?
My brother, you know the interesting thing, that area, I'm an assembly member. It happens to fall within my elected area and happens to be a party chairman too. I personally, being Sir Johnston, have done so much stakeholder engagement
And a buffer was drawn by the Forestry Commission that nobody, although those inside the buffer are illegal tenants, those going into dangerous areas. So I believe that respectfully, the various associations in that enclave could have also been approached to make the work easier for the minister. That's how. That's what really,
it appears you're not answering my question, Mr. Poku. I'm talking about the grace period you're referring to.
There cannot be a grace period because I am saying that my association members have no idea about all these things.
But when you say that you've been engaging the late Sir John on this matter, it appears that a lot of engagements have gone on between your side and the government side as well. Governance is a continuum. So when you have the regional minister enforce probably the agreements that you've laid down, why then should we still be facing such problems on the ground?
Oh, my brother, the regional minister gave specific instructions. They are going to clear walls in the waterways. Where is the waterway? The layman's understanding. When I got there, first walls on hills were being pulled down. There are no waterways. We could stand and not even be a technical person. No, this is a waterway.
So you are contending that the red zone was not crossed, where you had agreed with the Forestry Commission?
That is it. That is my understanding. That I was asking the technical man. My minister says waterway. Look at where you are working. Clear the waterways. For waterways, we are all in support. And if the minister brings another instruction that those who have caused the waterways are A, the next stage is B, then you can go on that person. That was where I was arguing with them that I personally feel that it was not too good.
And I'm grateful for your time. That's Tema West New Patriotic Party Chairperson Kwesi Poku. But the Minister Henry Quartey has reiterated his commitment to see the exercise through. According to him, no order from above can stop the exercise.
From above that I know of, they are going back to continue. So I don't know who is saying order from above. And please, there is no order from above. They are working in phases. The first phase is to remove fence wall that have been erected in the waterway. They will do that. Then the second phase is to identify buildings that are still seated in the waterway. Then engagements will be done, and then those ones are also removed. So there is no order from above, please. The work continues. We are seeing and we want to protect the water body. So fence walls in the water body we will remove. And then the next phase will be to deal with the buildings. So it's a stage, it's a process.
And that's the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey. Now to our campaign against illegal mining. Don't forget the hashtag No to Galamsey is our call to action. Make sure that you join us online as we mount pressure on authorities to act. About tonight, 2 people are in critical condition following an alleged clash between illegal miners and a security team manning the concession of Anglo Gold Ashanti in the Obuasi East District. A leader of the Obuasi small-scale miners, Nana Enimo Awure II, who is also the Dunkwa Mfu Adontihine, says that the clash follows the quest for release of some Galamsey miners who sneaked into AGA's mining site and got trapped. Chief of one of the communities there, who confirmed that some persons were trapped in a pit, blamed Anglo Gold for leaving the pits uncovered.
The company have neglected the community. About 12 years ago, I wrote a petition on 2020 to Anglo Gold Ashanti to remind them that I and my community don't understand the reason why they have neglected us, because there is a pit under my area, so they have to come and reclaim the land, so that we need the land to do local farming and activities. And currently, 2022, I wrote another one. So it will not avail. Then I have to call the place and explain some certain things are always be within the community to them, so that if there is the rules, the laws that are covering the mining for Anglo Gold to come and construct the pit, which it has become the very threat to the community.
So that's Chief of Ochikrom, Nana Amwaku Jampa, who confirmed the incident there. But the Senior Sustainability Manager for Anglo Gold Ashanti, Manuel Beidu, says the concession still belongs to the company and blames the locals for trespassing.
It is not a piece of land or that has been relinquished to the community or relinquished to government. It is within our concession, and it means we still have an interest in it. But if it is within your concession, there is a business case for whatever reason that the pit was done and why it is still in the concession. So there could be a possibility of us even going to remine because the ore or the deposit belongs to the state and we have to ensure it is mine. And there could also be a possibility where we say that, okay, it is part of our reclamation program, so we will cover it at this time. It is not always a community coming to request for a mine pit to be filled unless the pit or the land area has been relinquished, for which reason land is supposed to be returned back to the community. The mining company pay the mine plan that has been or per other arrangements agreed with the Minerals Commission and then also the EPA that gets implemented for the pit to be.
And that's Emmanuel Beidou, Senior Sustainability Manager at AngloGold Ashanti. Let's stay on this a while longer because in the last few minutes, AngloGold Ashanti Ghana has released a statement on the matter. Joining me now is my colleague Mamiesi Thompson with details of that statement. Mamiesi, what are we learning?
So, the statement says AngloGold Ashanti Ghana notes yesterday the arrest of 11 illegal miners apprehended by authorities after exiting underground workings at the Obuasi Gold Mine. Authorities and mine security personnel have conducted a patrol of underground workings in the northern area of the mine and are not aware of anyone remaining underground. Any unauthorized persons who may still be underground are encouraged to leave the mine at any time by the exit points where public security personnel are stationed. Intrusion of illegal miners into their underground workings remains a significantly dangerous activity, and AngloGold Ashanti Ghana says it will work alongside authorities to ensure that only authorized mine personnel and contractors can assign underground work areas. Safety of staff, security, and all community members remains their highest priority. Blessed.
And I'm grateful that you've been able to break that down for us. The story on illegal mining still unfolds because 3 persons who are asking the police to investigate the operations of Akonta mining in the Tano Nimri Forest Reserve say they will consider all options, including heading to the courts to seek justice. They have petitioned the Police Criminal Investigations Department to investigate and prosecute Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Enchiboseaku, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. His company, Akonta Mining, was cited in a Joy News documentary for alleged illegal mining in the Tano Nimri Forest Reserve. Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo confirmed the company had been ordered to halt its operations.
Report came up that a certain company called Akonta Mining is engaged in mining activities in a forest reserve. I got them to produce a report which suggested to me that this company has 2 or 3 concessions which are legal, which have been licensed, but which are outside the forest reserve. The people who looked at it came to the conclusion that the company doesn't have a license to conduct any activities whatsoever in the forest reserve. So I gave a directive that whatever operations or activities this company is involved in the forest reserve, that should cease.
Well, so exactly what are the demands as contained in this new petition we're learning of? Court correspondent Joseph Akable has more.
So first there's Kenneth Ashigbe. He's with the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. Martin Pegbu, a legal practitioner. Kwame Siedu, who is with the Center for Democratic Development, and Edem Senanu with the Citizens Movement Against Corruption.
And what are the specific issues they're raising with the CID?
In fact, they make reference to the comments made by the minister that we heard a short while ago, but they also provide further details of the illegal conduct of Akonta Mining. They say that the company went into the forest with excavators, pumping machines, power generators, cars, and other equipment. They cleared some parts of the forest of the trees and other vegetation. They subsequently excavated the soil and undertook mining operations, and they provide videos of this which they've attached to this particular petition to the CID. They also say that they conducted a search at the company registry and confirmed that Mr. Bernard Buesiaku is a director and shareholder. His co-director and co-shareholder is one Kwame Entry, and they attach those documents to this particular petition. And so they're asking the CID to investigate the case and prosecute accordingly.
And this is why I want to bring in Dr. Ken Ashigbe, joining us on the telephone lines. He is one of the petitioners and convener for the Media Coalition Against Galamsey. Good evening to you, Doc. Thank you for your time. Also, we do have a private legal practitioner and a senior law lecturer at the University of Ghana Faculty of Law, who will be joining us later. But let me also bring in lawyer Martin Kpebu, who is joining us. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for your time. Dr. Ken Ashigbe, I want to start off with you. Have you had any responses from the police on your petition?
Well, we have a good evening to you and to Martin and to our listeners. As we speak, the police have not responded yet.
I mean, you sent that petition today, correct?
No, the petition was sent on Friday.
So, I mean, what will be the next step for you as a group? What do you intend to do to seek some answers?
Well, beyond the four of us who have signed, there are several people who are aligned with this petition. What we will be doing is waiting for the police to get back to us. But another step that we've taken is this we're doing by bringing it to the attention of the general public, because this is a case that is at the core of the fight against illegality. We cannot in one breath be saying that we want to fight this illegality, and then you have a minister demonstrate courage and point out that somebody is involved in an illegality. And there's so much evidence that what we have attached that beyond that. The people of Samraboy clashed with Akonta Mining when they wanted to take additional equipment into the forest. The police got involved in that, so the police know about that. And there's adequate evidence, as the president asked when he met the chiefs and the DCs, that with evidence prosecution will take place. The beggars believe that the 3rd of October was when the Minerals Commission confirmed what the minister had said. And today is the 19th, 16 days. There's been no arrest of somebody who there's ample evidence that has sinned against the Minerals and Mining Act. We have to stop the spider paradigm where it is only the small fry.
Yeah, and Doc, there's also another question facing your group, the question about whether or not we're not duplicating the process. What will be different? I mean, what's different in this petition, aside from what we've been assured of from the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, indicating to us that investigations are already underway?
This is a criminal case. It is not for the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources to be investigating a criminal case. He has established the fact that an illegality has taken place. I'm sure for his ministry and agencies, he would want to be able to find what's happening. But there's ample evidence for the police to be able to act. And that's why we're asking the entity that is closed by constitutional power to act.
And let's hear from lawyer Martin Kpebu as well. Lawyer, I do recall that a couple of days or weeks back, you had indicated that clearly you were going to personally lodge a complaint with the Ghana Police Service on some of the findings in that Joy News documentary, Distraction for Gold. Have you changed your mind?
No. So that's how come we went ahead with the petition. Yeah.
Yes, and here we are. The police service, unfortunately, has not reaching back to you, explaining what the way forward will be. So what will be your next line of action?
Okay, so we have to give the police a bit of space to come back to us. We sent it on Friday. Today is Wednesday. So we are looking forward to their response. Yes, and as Doc has already said it all, at least we've given the police some evidence. We attached the documentary that Erasmus Asaridonko did, the minister's statement, then the Minerals Commission's own statement. Yeah, so this is quite a good case. So let's give the police some time to come back to us. Yes.
How about the Attorney General himself? Legally and looking at the, remits of the Constitution, he possesses a lot of powers in terms of carrying this case forward.
Yes, definitely. So this is how the system works. You lodge the complaint with the police, they carry out the investigation, and then to go to court, usually is the Attorney General that gives them the mandate. So for some of the smaller offenses, the Attorney General is already giving the police a fiat. So you see that there are police prosecutors. But for this one, it's the Attorney General himself who will prosecute. That's the lawyers working under him. Sometimes it may not be the AG himself as a person, but in his chambers he has a number of lawyers, yes, to put it mildly. So this one is a case that the AG will handle in his office. So it's coming to him.
Right. And I'm grateful for your time, gentlemen. Dr. Ken Ashigbe and lawyer Martin People, part of the 3 individuals petitioning the Ghana Police Service to act on findings in the Joy News hotline documentary, Distraction for Gold. But yesterday we brought you some happenings within Parliament regarding the vetting of some Supreme Court nominees. Tonight there's another update for you because one of the nominees to the Apex Court, Justice Ernest Yao Gayo, says he has resigned from the New Patriotic Party and will apply the law fairly. Ernest Yao Gayo served as the NPP's parliamentary candidate for the whole central constituency in the 2016 elections. He was appointed to the High Court in 2020 and has now been nominated to the Supreme Court by President Akufo-Addo. Minority Leader Haruna Iddrisu says the appointment suggests President Akufo-Addo is appointing partisan persons to serve in the Supreme Court.
Let me correct an erroneous impression that has been said somewhere. No one has questioned the authority or mandate of constitutional power of the president to appoint a justice of the Supreme Court. What we have sought to express concern about is having been appointed a judge at the High Court just at the beginning of a career. You are elevated and fast-tracked ahead of your superiors from the same High Court through the Appeals Court to the Court of Appeal. And Chairman, let it be said on authority that we have expressed to the Supreme Court, we have expressed concern that can be a disincentive to other judges who have played their part in public service to serve our country in that capacity at High Court who are not being recognized. Because in your CV you indicate that you ran for the New Patriotic Party as parliamentary candidate in 2016, then from there onwards to High Court judge, then to the Supreme Court. That is not to say that we haven't had instances where somebody serving a political party have been appointed into the Supreme Court. But the appointments such as yours give the notion of partisanship creeping into appointments into the high office of the Supreme Court.
And that's the concern of the minority, echoed by its leader, Haruna Iddrisu. But responding to the questions from members of the Appointments Committee, Justice Ernest Gayo himself explained that he has resigned as a member of the New Patriotic Party and will apply the law fairly, irrespective of partisan colours of cases that appear before him.
Luckily, I'm not a member of the MPP for now. I'm no longer a member of the MPP. I've sworn a judicial oath to do to all manner of person justice. That is all. My Lord, if I'm empaneled and to the extent that, well, it will conflict with my ideas, I may ask to be recused.
And so which party will you vote tomorrow?
Mr. Chairman, I didn't hear the question.
Don't answer that one. Votes are, everybody so gets votes is a secret, so please don't.
Mr. Chairman, the nominee just told us he's not a member of the MPP. When did you resign from the MPP? Or have you resigned from the MPP, and when?
This is your fourth question.
I ceased to become a member of the MPP on the 16th day of September 2020, the year 2020. Yes, I resigned. That's a formal resignation, and it was received and signed by the party.
Mr. Chairman, can the nominee make available copy of the resignation letter?
Do you have a copy of the resignation letter?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have it.
Very well. The Secretariat will take it from you.
Okay, let me bring in parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante, who's joining us in studio. Kweku, so we understand, first of all, that the minority have been persistent on the nominees' affiliation to the New Patriotic Party.
Right, so the minority chief, Muntaka Mubarak, his line of questioning suggested that the minority still had significant concerns that someone that is directly affiliated to the NPP, despite the fact that Justice Gaiwu has just said that he has resigned, will be elevated and put on the Supreme Court. Indeed, if you look at the line of questionings that came in from some of these NDC MPs on the committee, it clearly suggested that they were not so comfortable with this idea, but the NPP side have been shooting back. Indeed, if you look at the question that just ended from Honorable Afenyo Makin, the Deputy Majority Leader, he says that there is nothing wrong with someone who is affiliated to the NPP or even NDC or any other party to be promoted to the Supreme Court. They actually cite the case of a current Supreme Court judge, Justice Gabriel Poaman, who was then General Secretary of the PNC, but was later elevated onto the Supreme Court. So it became a little bit of a political footballing on the committee, with both sides seeking to make an argument whether or not someone affiliated to the NPP as chairman and parliamentary candidate should be on the Supreme Court.
Finally, are we getting a sense of what the verdict may be on him?
It's if you look at the other three justices that were vetted, Justice Akayensu, Justice Adibu, and then Justice George Kingsley Kumsin, it seems that though both parties were very comfortable with them, and most of them were congratulating them when you get onto the court. But when it comes particularly to Justice Gaiwu, there's this line of questioning from both the minority leader himself, Haruna Idrisu, as well as the minority chief whip, Muntaka Mubarak, that suggests that there might be some challenge to him in terms of whether or not they will vote for him. They are expected to present their report next week when Parliament resumes, and from the way things are going, it suggests that these people might probably put
and just briefly, the House is resuming
next week, Tuesday, from their 3-month break.
Key activities.
Indeed, they are going to consider a number of bills, particularly some bills that are being sponsored by members of Parliament. We know that the anti-gay bill is high on the agenda. Sam George and Co are saying that the House should pass that bill before the House will go on break, and then particularly the 2023 budget.
Interesting times ahead. You can be sure that parliamentary correspondent Kweku Asante will get us the latest. And you're listening to Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. Time now for business. The businessman himself is here, Pa Eskujo Baka. I'm sure that at least you were able to get some drinks from your shop today.
Yes, I was. I had to stock up, yeah. But coming up in business, Ghanaians advised to cut down expenditure in anticipation of tougher economic times as prices of imported goods are expected to further go up due to cedi depreciation. We'll hear from an economist. Also in this bulletin, International Monetary Fund justifies cut in end-of-year growth projections for Ghana, insisting it was based on current developments in the economy. Also, inflation at factory gate prices for all goods and services, that is producer price inflation, hit 45.5% in September 2022. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business, Ghana Pay and Alliance Life.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
son. We are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kindle Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years' experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery, and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHS, Kumasi KNUST campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
Businesses know how important it is to create a productive and supportive working environment by investing in employees' health. With a leading international track record, Apex Health Insurance is licensed to provide medical insurance services to corporate organizations and SMEs. We also have international LH Blue cover and TPAs to cushion you. Multinational companies, factories, and government agencies, focus on your business while Apex Insurance takes care of your health. Visit Apex Health Insurance office at Zion House, Boundary Road, Shiashi, Kumasi, opposite Prempeh College, Sofo Line, and Takrady Market Circle. For further inquiries, call 0501 562 962 or 0501 552 495. Apex Health, your preferred health insurer.
Alande, me say Alande.
Adepen Alande.
Ghana Pay Alande.
Hey, finally, Ghana Pay Alande.
Do more your way on Ghana Pay. Send and receive money at 0 transaction fees. Pay bills, buy airtime and data. Transfer money in and out of your bank account and so much more with Ghana Pay. Dial *707# to register for Ghana Pay or download the Ghana Pay app from the Play Store or App Store.
Alande. Ghana Pay Alande.
Ghana Pay. Your money, your way.
This service is powered by Gibbs.
Here is the planet's ultimate game.
The greatest prize in football is up for grabs from 20 November.
This is absolutely wonderful. It's Mbappe! Oh my word! Ronaldo with a shot. Oh, it's got it! Messi! Oh my God! Sadio Mane! A goal by the African Footballer of the Year.
Experience every minute of all 64 matches of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. Live on SuperSport. Only on DSTV. Here for every fan.
Allianz, insurance since 1890. At Allianz Life Ghana, we have a wide range of life insurance packages to suit all pockets, from individuals, groups, associations, and businesses. We cover your employees, your funerals, pensions, children's education, and your future. Call us on 0302 267 892 or visit our website www.allianz-gh.com for more inquiries. Allianz Life. We secure your future.
Intentional. Never
from that break, straight to our very first story in the world of business. Ghanaians must be measured in their expenditure from now till the festive season in December. This is because prices of imported goods may see a surge due to the depreciation of the cedi. According to financial economist Dr. Lord Mensah, inflation may hit 40% by end of the year as the Bank of Ghana struggles to tame prices of goods on the market. Currently, a dollar has neared almost 13 cedis, a situation that has compelled traders to shut their shops in protest of the high economic conditions. Professor Mensah is warning that this could be the best time for households to practice austerity to minimize the impact of the economic hardship.
If the exchange rate keeps itself up there, I'm sure, investors, those importers will advise themselves. And we know very well that, if you take our food basket, chunk of them are imported. Then, of course, reorientation, getting into the, festive seasons will also be important, because if inflation keeps on, going up and interest rate keeps on going up, exchange rate, keeps on going up, obviously, Ghanaians may have to reorient themselves, getting into the Christmas festivities. Possibly, look at how you can consume, a minimum of imported, product. And that will have a way to control the inflation. So the 40%, it's unlikely we may hit it before the end of the year.
Professor Lord Mensah is an economist. Now, the International Monetary Fund has justified its end-of-year growth projection for Ghana, insisting it was based on the current developments in the economy. The fund's 3.6% end-of-year projection has come under some scrutiny following the strong economic growth during the second quarter of this year. But speaking at a program in Washington, D.C., head of the African department at the IMF, Abebe Selassie, insists it stands by its projection.
There are several factors, that can sometimes create differences between the numbers we come up with and governments publish. So one, of course, is differences in view on, what the global outlook is going to look like, or even country-specific outlook, and, that can be a source of difference. But, another factor often is the timing of when projections are made. So depending on how, on debt, of course, we continue. There's no program with Ghana. Our engagement is in the context of Article 4 policy discussions, and we give our advice on what we think are the kind of reforms Ghana needs to ensure sustained development progress.
Head of African Department at the International Monetary Fund, Abebe Selassie, speaking there. More on the economy and inflation at factory gate prices for all goods and services hit 45.5% in September 2022. According to figures from the Ghana Statistical Service, industry recorded an inflation rate of 54.5%, whilst services sector recorded an inflation rate of 5.6%. 2 of the 8 subsectors, that is manufacturing and mining, recorded rates of producer inflation higher than the national average. Here is government statistician Professor Samuel Kobnenim.
The producer price index for the month of September 2022 stood at provisionally 163.3 relative to August 2022 152.3, and using the same series September 2021 a producer price index of 110.1. Given these producer price indices, the year-on-year producer inflation, that is prices from the factory gate perspective for all goods and services for the month of September 2022 stood at 45.5%.
Professor Samuel Kobnenim is the government statistician. Now, the Cybersecurity Authority, as part of moves to sensitize the public on the new cybersecurity regulation, has begun an engagement with civil society organizations in the country. The aim of the forum is to get the input of CSOs in the regulation before it comes into force from January next year. Deputy Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Ama Poma Boateng, spoke to Joy Business about the relevance of the new law.
October is Cybersecurity Month, and as part of our programs, this morning we are meeting with the civil societies to assist them and educate them on cybersecurity issues. So as part of Cybersecurity Authority's mandate, we have to make sure that every digital citizen is safe online. So you would have to work from school kids, whether it's a farmer, it's a corporate person, it's government, it's civil service, it's public service, businesses, e-commerce. You know, we use digital tools for everything now.
Deputy Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Amapoma Boateng, ending business on Newsnight. Back to you, Blessed.
Pius Kujobaka for giving us the latest in the world of business, and the contest is still on.
You know, Infantswim is a school that in such competitions, every other school would like to fight hard to beat. But for the World Conference.
And Infantswim School actually survives another late scare to qualify for semi-finals of the National Science and Maths Quiz, as a correct answer to the last question gives the Kwaboche boys a lifeline in the National Science and Maths Quiz. We have all of that coming up shortly, but time now to do sports. We'll bring that to you shortly. But the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association is tonight asking government not to touch their Tier 2 pension funds of its members. President of the association, Perpetual Ofori Ampofo, says any such interferences with their funds will make their members worse off. Speaking on the sidelines of the annual general meeting of the health sector occupational pension scheme, Perpetual Ampofo indicated that the association would not countenance any decision made on their pension funds without their concurrence.
The beneficiary, such that when you go on retirement, your money is safe. What have we been seeing in the past, even with our Tier 1 contributions with SNIT? Investments that have gone bad, and all those investments or monies pumped into certain ventures, and the monies have not been returned back into the scheme. So we are not expecting that our Tier 2 contributions will be touched in any such ways. It should be left for us the way it is, so that our members can benefit at the end of the day. Nobody can use the media to communicate such things. I think when it comes to the forum, the chairman of the forum has said it, and time and again. Even the recent media interviews that you had with him, he said it very clearly. If there is anything, engagement should be done. We have to sit and discuss some of these things. Nobody, not the Minister of Finance or any government apparatus, must sit and take those decisions which will come back to affect our members who are contributors of the various Tier 2 schemes.
And that's Perpetual Ofori Ampofo, President of the Ghana Nurses and Midwifery Association. Deputy Employment and Labour Relations Minister Bright Rekubrobe assured government owes it a duty to ensure that no retiree is worse off or suffers unjustly.
Pensions serve as a safe haven to secure the economic and financial livelihood of workers and their families. In these critical times, more collaboration is required to safeguard pension funds and ensure retirement income security for workers. This annual general meeting should engender consensus building around happenings on the pensions front vis-à-vis the global economic realities. We owe it a duty to ensure that no retiree is worse off or suffer unjustly in the current situation.
That's the Deputy Labour Relations Minister, Bright Rekubrobe, speaking there. The health sector occupational pension scheme started in 2012 with an asset under management of 2,040 Ghana cedis, mainly from the internally generated fund made up of staff's contribution, and grew to over 2.1 billion Ghana cedis at the end of 2021. But let's... just before we bring you the National Science and Maths Quiz, Musba is here to give us some updates in the world of sports.
Yes, Blessed Hartlefolk have announced the appointment of Serbian tactician Slavko Matic as head coach in a 2-year deal at a press conference held at the head office and addressed by the executive chairman, Togbe Afede. He tasked the new coach to win this season's Ghana Premier League title and also improve the club's performance in Africa. The former Spectrum Sofia boss took over from Daniel Oklo who was appointed on an interim basis following the dismissal of Samuel Boadu.
Coach Matic was a player himself, has played in big clubs, and in fact derives his part of his confidence from the fact that he has had to play under a lot of pressure during his playing days. So he comes to us with that sort of experience as a player and as a coach, and has youthful exuberance, has desire. When he heard about Accra Hearts of Oak, he was very thrilled because he saw that it's a big brand. He saw that it would be a high-pressure kind of environment, one that he thinks he would thrive in best. And he sees Hearts of Oak, as a club he can develop with. So we are very happy to have him. Let me add that, we don't typically set definitive targets for our coaches. But one thing he knows is that as far as Accra is concerned, failure to win the league is failure. So he knows that we expect to win the league.
So that's Togwe Afede, the executive chairman of Accra Hearts of Oak, who
very interesting times ahead for Hearts of Oak. Musbah, thank you. And of course, there's a bit of a breaking news, should I call it as such. Prempeh College in the lead. It appears that they may be carrying the night, if I could put it that way. But we'll bring you the latest shortly. And Fancy School earlier today survived another late scare to qualify for the semi-finals of the National Science and Maths Quiz. A correct answer to the last question gave the Central Region Based School another opportunity in the competition. Last week, Infanspim School broke its 3-year-old quarterfinal jinx after beating Suwon Presec by just 1 point to qualify. Listen to the last question St. Hubert Seminary missed to give Infanspim School another chance.
Last riddle. Like Tom and Jerry, we complement each other. We are two of a kind. Okay. Go ahead. Aqua.
Complementary angle.
No. Continue. The factorial notation plays a role. Yes. Go.
Permutation and combination.
Yes. They solved the riddle on the third clue. 3 points. 3 points. That's the end of the first round.
Sad to see St. Hubert Seminary go home, but congratulations to the Kwabuche boys. Let's bring in Maxwell Agbagba, who's monitoring all of that for us now. And Prempeh is obviously winning tonight, correct, Maxwell?
Exactly. Blessed. The contest just ended. And this is a summary of the results. At the end of round one, every Presbyterian High Technical School took an early leading with 5 points. That changed in round two when Prempeh College led with 10 points. The problem of the day proved to be a real problem of the day. Every Presbyterian had 1 point, Mauly School had 1 point, Prempeh College had 0 points. But at the end of the contest, Prempeh College 47 points, every Presbyterian High Technical School 41 points, Mauly School 32 points. So Prempeh College won by just 6 points, and a gentleman here in this auditorium are singing right about now, Blessed.
And that's Maxwell Agbagba catching all of the fun there. But do we know what context we'll be expecting tomorrow? Actually, you are with me. I'm just asking about tomorrow's context. That's an idea of some of the schools to expect. You can imagine the excitement taking over the hall. So Maxwell is unable to hear me, but definitely I'll be rooting for Bishop Eman College as they appear for the quarterfinals tomorrow. Tell us about your school and how you're expecting it to go. But that's all we have for you here on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. Don't forget to log on to myjoyonline.com. We have updates on our stories there, and bless us